Good evening. We have head coach Jeff Walz and student athletes Olivia Cochran and Jayda Curry. Coach, just real quick, an opening statement, and then we'll open it up to.
Sheets by chance, or do they not give those down here?
Okay. We'll get you some, Coach.
Box, yeah. I just because I first want to. I'll start off and just I want to congratulate Nebraska on an incredible year. Amy has done a remarkable job out there. It's been fun to watch, especially having coached there for 4 years and still have friends out there that work in the athletic department. Jeff Creech and Matt Coatney have been the voice of Husker basketball, for a long time. And it was really neat to see them. Jamie Kubik, Hagedorn, she's now one of their senior sport administrators for women's basketball, was on that same team that I had the opportunity to coach and be a part of. And it was really nice to see her as well. It's a game where things go full circle throughout your career. And it's really, it's something special. And that's one of the things when you play a game like this, sure, you're playing out there to win. But I do feel for her because I've been there. I understand how hard the amount of time and effort your staff, head coaches, the players all put into it, especially this time of the year. And we are a sport where, we don't have bowl games where, okay, you can still end the year on a win, even though you might not win a championship. For us, there's one team that's going to finish the year with a win. The rest of us are finishing with a loss. So it's tough. But I just want to congratulate them. And then our group here, just really, really proud of the fight that our kids showed. We had done such a good job the first 3 quarters of defending and making things hard. And then in that fourth, they scored 10 points in about 3.5 minutes. And that was our problem. Called a timeout, and then we held them to 4 points the next 6:30. And that's why we win a basketball game. So I'm proud of everybody. We had a lot of players play, and a lot contributed. And especially when you're putting as many freshmen out there on the floor as we are, just really, really proud of them. And sorry about my stutter. I got a little head cold, and when your head cold comes, it's not good.
Okay, we'll open it up to questions to the student athletes, please.
Be calm, Coach.
Be calm, Coach.
It's true, ladies.
It is true.
Thank you.
Fluid.
Real
Fluid.
Smooth is what I'd say.
Olivia, you were at the podium this time last year with a much different reaction and emotion. How nice does it feel to get back to what you're used to?
It feels amazing. Like I said, this group is so special, and we just don't even know how good we are yet. And that's why we're still dancing. We're just keeping one foot in front of the other, and we just preparing for the next game. I know our coaching staff is going to come out with a great game plan for our next opponent, and we're just ready.
Jayda, Stephen Hawkins with the AP. You had a pretty eventful last couple minutes out there. I was going to ask, when you made that basket, the time basket, you looked like you were kind of hopping a little bit. You stayed in the game, you made the next basket, and you drew a charge.
Yeah.
That was key. So just talk about all that.
Just a cramp. I clearly need to hydrate more. But that's all that was. My teammates and my coaching staff talking to me, pushing me through that as well was a big factor. And just able to make big plays in those moments. But nothing crazy, just a little cramp.
Tough.
Alexis Cubitt, Louisville Courier Journal. Jayda, the standard that is at Louisville. That's obviously why you came here, 2 years ago, whatever it was. I guess how much do you kind of put that on your shoulders, especially in this tournament, to, keep you guys going, and just how much does that drive you during those last few minutes?
Yeah, I mean, coming from somewhere where, I didn't even make the tournament or get to play and have that opportunity. And then last year, obviously, that's not how we wanted it to go. So being able to come out here today and compete and win this game and move on to the second round is just super fun, super exciting, and I'm excited. And like you talked about that standard, that's something that I came here for. And I feel like we're upholding that standard as of right now, and we're going to continue to do that as we go through this tournament.
Olivia, you mentioned the next opponent, so I'll go ahead and ask. The next opponent is TCU and former teammate of yours. Just talk about facing TCU and Haley.
They're a great ball club. They're undefeated at home. We're going to go out there and compete. We're going to go forward with the game plan Coach Walz and the coaching staff have for us, and it's just going to be a ball game. That's all I got to say. Go Guards.
Questions for the student athletes? Well, ladies, thank you for your time.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Oh, that's great. And then before a question, I'd like to just challenge ESPN and some different things because we get stuck on we don't change a narrative in women's basketball very often. And for people to not know more about Britt Prince is really sad. It's a shame. But, she won a big name. Well, she was to a lot of us in recruiting circles because we sat there and recruited her hard. But see, if you don't start the year up there on a pedestal, it doesn't matter what you do, you ain't getting there. And that's the difference between the men's game and the women's game. We get stuck on a narrative. We'll spend our money and put a preview out there or whatever, and God forbid if we spend any more money on women's basketball because, she's good, but we'll wait till next year. And it's really sad because that kid's special. For a freshman, it's amazing how she played and how good she is. But it's unfortunate that we don't do a better job within women's basketball of just not sticking with one or two or three or five players. Expand it. When somebody starts showing how good they are during the year, God forbid if we do a special on them. So I'll go with questions now. I'm sure I'll get yelled at by people, but I'm not even talking about my own players. So,
Any questions for Coach?
I guess kind of like I was just talking about, just the standard, that you guys have talked about. Last year is obviously very uncharacteristic, never happened before. But for you, did you see just a different, I guess, appreciation for today? Not saying that they didn't, but just knowing how last year went. Do you feel like it was a little more special this time?
well, I was really happy and proud of them. I thought we did a really nice job of, the first quarter was a little bit of a challenge for us offensively. They got up. We cut it to 2 at the end of the quarter. Then we came out in the second, executed extremely well, and pushed it up to, I think, an 8-point lead in the third, and then just had some bonehead plays there to allow them to get back. But we played in a lot of close games. We've had a very, very good schedule. It's one where I always sit here and I've talked to people about it because, we're all trying to figure out this net. I would just like to have someone explain it to me. So if you beat somebody by, at least in AAU basketball when I used to coach it, you always knew at the end they might do by point differential. But once you were up 20, it plus 20 was as high as you could go. It didn't matter. Nobody can explain a damn thing to me about what is it, win by 50 or does it stop at 20? And I've said this for years. I really think the past 2 years, it's impacting our game in some ways because as a coach, do you sub? Do you put your bench in? Because if you're up 30 and all of a sudden you put your bench in to give kids a chance to play and all of a sudden now you only win by 12, does that hurt you? Because your offensive efficiency might not be as good. So there's things where you look at people, you look at where people are sometimes put in the, what their seeding is, and you're like, well, I shouldn't have played such a tough schedule. So there's things that we're trying to learn too as coaches. I've talked to my athletic director, and he's been great. I'm hoping we can have an opportunity where as coaches, here's a Zoom call. We're going to put everybody on Zoom call to explain it to you. And if you don't get on the Zoom call, it's your fault. But at least give us a chance, because then you know what it's going to take. Okay, if I'm up 30, 15 is the magic number where the cutoff is. But I do believe the games that we have played have helped us throughout the year. Even in the ACC, we have an overtime game at Wake, overtime game in the tournament. Our game at SMU was a great basketball game where we got down in the last 2 minutes of the game, figured out a way to come back and win. I think our schedule has helped us, and I'm just really proud of how we continue to compete and execute.
Jeff, can you just talk about Jayda in that last minute? Like I asked her, obviously she had some really physical and tough plays there at the end.
No, I was really proud of her. She did not play in the ACC tournament after getting injured in our last regular season game, which is a big blow to us. But I was really proud of how she gutted it out. And now, we'll try to do as much treatment as we can, because she got hit in the same area, and she's pretty sore right now. So hopefully, we'll see how she can go on Sunday. Obviously, she won't do much in practice tomorrow, except for walk through some things. But we got to make sure that she's ready to play, because she is a big part of what's going on with us.
And after all we've talked about, I do have to ask about, obviously, Haley. You had her. You had a lot of success with her. You and her had a lot of success together. Just talk about your memories of her as a player when you had her, and just facing her, and she's going to, she went to another Elite Eight last year, so she. We sat there and we won a lot of games. Very fortunate to have great players on those teams: Kiana Smith, Dana Evans, Emily Inksler. We had some really, really good basketball teams, and she was a big part of it. She had a great career, graduated college in 3 years, which nobody really talks about, and they should, because that's our job as coaches. Sure, we're if you lose games, you get fired. But at the end of the day, it's to get kids to graduate from college. And she did that in 3 years and then decided to make a move, and which is great. Everybody does it. It's no big deal. So, yeah. I'm guessing you're not surprised at the impact she's made on TCU, though.
No, Sedona Prince isn't too shabby either. She is one that a lot of attention has to go to her. It's 6'7", being able to step out, shoot it from 15 to 18, being around the basket. And I'm excited for her because, I coached her in USA basketball in Mexico when she broke her leg. And I can remember going out there when that happened, and she was like, "Coach, I think I broke my leg." I was like, "You're going to be fine." And when I looked down, I'm like, "Oh shit, no, she ain't." But I'm happy for her, because that was an injury that was pretty darn severe, and I think she's finishing up her 7th year, so she should be going for a doctorate, if not teaching a class or two here at TCU. But she's pretty darn special. And then you got they've great pieces. It's not just Haley. It's not just, Sedona. You got Connors, who shoots, she shoots like 45% from 3. So, yeah, it's a complete team.
You've often talked about those plays that don't always get on the stat sheets, but just, like mentioned, Jayda withdrawing those fouls and stuff or charges. Are those the kind of plays that you feel like are more impactful sometimes than even just the points?
Yeah, there's no question about it. The charge she took, because we actually blew our defensive coverage, and Britt was wide open, and I was like, my God, I was kind of surprised she just didn't pull up because she was wide open. And Jayda did a really nice job of stepping over and standing there and taking the charge. And then I've got to say thanks to the officials for making the correct call. Because it's one where, it's 50-50 anymore. on calls like that. But she was there, 2 feet. She was sitting there. So it was a big-time play. And then the other things you don't see, just being able to get the ball in bounds. Riss took it out for us twice in situations where you got to get it in. We had no timeouts left. She gets it in bounds. They have to foul. We go and make 1 or 2 free throws. Those are plays, too, that a lot of people take for granted. But there's pressure taking that ball out of bounds.
Are there any more questions for Coach? Well, Coach, thank you for your time, and good luck Sunday.
There's one of my Husker friends in the back there, Matt. Matt's. Yep. Thank you, buddy, and I appreciate you. Have enjoyed listening to you over the years.
Best of luck, I'm sure.
It's how many years for you now?
Just 26.
That's all. Okay, you've got about 20 more in you. You're good.
Best of luck.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.